Yeah. And Lavinia is a bit of a different one because she is not necessarily building for a personal storefront, but rather as a multi-entrepreneur, which I'm sure there's a better word for. And yeah, I'm gonna let her give a bit of an introduction and show what she's built over the past 6 weeks.
Sure. Thanks so much for Maria. So what I've been busy with isn't, as Maria was saying, isn't as client facing or storefront facing as the other ladies. A lot of what I've been focusing on is actually quite internal for my own workflows, but I'll try to show you a few different things. Let me share my screen. Right. Um, I'm Lavinia. I run a few different businesses and social enterprises as well. I'm an investor, I'm a mom, I'm a future of work enthusiast. I run an innovation hub in Bali and an international support system for entrepreneurs, remote workers, and startup teams. And we've founded, co-founded, and invested in 15 plus businesses, helped build other teams, and we've helped guide 45,000 people and 100 plus companies from 50 countries in digital upskilling and modern leadership, which is crazy for me to think. And I'm currently this year doing an executive program with Stanford Graduate School of Business. All of this, you guys, means one thing, which is that I would like to identify as tired. Um, so, um, so the priority for me here was to save time and to amplify intention, because I think that's actually what AI is best at. It amplifies intention. So whatever your intention and your kind of mastery already is, it can amplify that in ways that weren't possible before. Um, one thing that is kind of storefront facing was that I used to have an old website which was built on Squarespace. And it's a personal website that I don't really use much anymore, but I also had a lot of good stuff on it that I didn't want to lose. So I basically the other day used probably 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours to build this, which is a fully functional website. It's not a complex website in any way, but it's sent to my Substack, which is where I actually am more active right now. It does around a little bit. It can send to my LinkedIn, which is like just ways of communicating with people. And it has my old posts, which are the ones I did not want to lose. So it's fully functional. It's pretty sleek, actually, pretty good looking. And I transferred the posts to this. And just because maybe for some people on this call, it isn't as easy to understand how easy it is to work on this, I'll just quickly show that. And I'll say, can you tell me if you can see my Claude Code? Yeah? All right, perfect.
I can't see it.
So you can.
The,
Okay.
the terminal, if you're referring to the terminal, no.
No, you cannot. Okay. But you could see my website, right?
The website, yes, but I think it's just the
All
website
right.
that's being shown now.
Okay. Let me take you to Claude Code now. All good? All right. So I'm just going to ask it to make a change on the website. So I've worked on WordPress websites, Squarespace, Webflow, and other things. And by far, this is just the easiest thing I've ever worked with. So I'm just going to say something silly. I'm going to say add a button saying, don't call me, I hate polls. Under my hero on index and see what happens. So we don't look at only the sort of finished product, but we see how some of this works. And in the meantime, I'm going to try and show you while it's working on that. One of the things that I think is great about these systems is that you work in parallel on a number of different tasks. So you kind of orchestrate AI. So I'm going to ask it to you pull my voice guide that we worked on and explain how we did it. Okay. So all of us have a voice, and those of us who have a lot of content already can really feed that content to create a guide that allows us to create content more easily in a way that is aligned with what we actually, how we want to. My Substack articles and LinkedIn posts with a tool called Firecrawl, which I can show you here. So let me show that. Very easy and free tool. If you do have content, great to use, and just scrape the content you already have and have it analyzed. So I did that because any content I create, I want it to sound very much like me, and I actually want to be very involved in creating it. I just want to make the job easier, right? So I did that. And then I had Claude analyze my voice, how I write, and put together this guide, which you can see on the right side here. So it's very, very detailed, and it has a lot of things that I didn't realize myself about my own writing, which I found very interesting. So, for example, it figured out that I hate being like having this cheerleader energy, corporate thought leader, inspirational poster copy, hedged and qualified into mush, generic, all of these things, structural DNA. So it figured out a structure that I follow that I actually created myself, not the AI itself. The opener, the tension, my position, evidence from my life, the time frame, and all of these things, signature moves, and so on. So this is quite long, but it's very detailed, and it actually really, again, has a lot of things I didn't know about my writing myself. So now the way I do this is I interact, I ask the system to look at this guide before we start writing anything. And then I actually write in conversation with it. So, for example, I say, today I like to write a post about glimmers. This is a concept I've been fascinated with. To not take too much time, I'm not going to show the whole process, but basically, we're going to have a conversation where it's going to ask me what platform is it for, what are some specific cases in my life that I'm thinking about, and so on and so forth. And then it's going to put something together that respects the way I normally write. And then we're going to have another conversation to polish that. So instead of publishing something that is boilerplate and sounds like everyone else, and is not based on my life and my experiences, we're going to actually have a tandem, I would say, an exchange and write from that. So now let's have a look at what's happened here while we were talking about other things. And see what's going on. It is taking a little bit of time, so I'm going to show you something else in the meantime. Actually, no, it's here. Don't hate me. Don't call me. I hate calls. I really do. So now I'm going to say, please delete the button changed my mind and want to keep my reputation intact. And it's gonna remove it. So that's how easy it is. And again, I've been doing websites with WordPress and Squarespace and Webflow and other things. And this is definitely the easiest way to actually have a website reflect what you actually wanted to say and show and pull on different things that you're working on. Okay. And then I want to show you one more thing. Probably. Let's see. I know some of you like assessments. Can you see my browser now?
No,
Or is
still in
it
the
still closed?
terminal. Yeah, still or Claude app. And this is actually a good example that Lavinia, for example, she uses the Claude app, but you can either use terminal or the Claude app. I think most of the participants tend to use the terminal, but you can use either.
I
I'll
I interchangeably use both, but I prefer
yeah.
the app. But I prefer the app for specific reasons that we've discussed. Okay, so one thing I want to show you is I highly recommend interacting with your AI, whatever AI you use, with Wispr Flow AI, which is a free, amazing tool that transcribes better than any tool that I know. I would love to show you here how to do it, but unfortunately, it kills the microphone for the call, and then I can't get back into the call sound. So I'm not going to do that, but it basically types wherever you are. So you just go Control Alt or whatever the command is on your computer, and it types wherever you are, in a LinkedIn comment, on an email, or on in the terminal, in the app, and so on. And it actually transcribes and like kind of lightly edits things. You know how sometimes we dictate things and they come out really wrong. I find that this really helps. Why I want to show you this is because I use it a lot to interact with Claude Code. And what I did here is a while ago, I kept thinking a lot about the cognitive impact that AI has on us, how we're all potentially getting, at the same time, a lot smarter and more efficient, but at the same time, maybe dumber by using AI. So I found this amazing framework that a contact and business collaborator that I really respect and admire has put together. And it's a spectrum of how you can work with AI, right? So you from anything from cognitive corruption, where you're actually dumping everything on the AI and you're not like really using your brain anymore, to enhanced cognition. And I was like, this is really interesting. I would like to build an assessment on that. So I built an assessment with Claude Code, which takes 3 minutes to complete. And it looks like this, very sleek, very nice. I'm going to give you all the links, and I'm going to click through so you just see the entire process. I'll just do this very quickly. It's about 10 questions, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's 10, and then it's going to give me yeah, so it gave me the result. It's a fully functional page assessment that actually gives people a result. I'll share all of this with you in case you're interested. And then I put obviously I want to give credit to the person that created this. But then all of this other stuff is me, right? Like the assessment and everything that I've created. And I think I haven't showed you this, Maria. This is the Git page for it. And 44 people cloned this build in the last 14 days, which is a very big compliment for a developer usually. Yeah, let me give you this in case you want to do the assessment, because it's really fun. And there we go. And then one last thing I want to show you is for the executive program I'm doing I have a lot of homework I have to do, and a lot of it is applied on my company because why not? It makes sense for it to be applied on my company, but it's huge. So there was this very detailed um, MAD framework. So measure, analyze, and decide. It's a financial decision framework that I had to go through. And it's about 20 slides of very, very detailed content that has to do with financial information and so on. So what I did is I downloaded all of my financial statements, gave them to Claude Code, and then gave it access to this. And it pulled this and wrote everything you see in here. And 95% of it was correct. So I obviously used my brain, go through it, try to see everything, but it basically worked in the Google slide for me. It interpreted my data and just like put everything in here. So as I was saying, a lot of how I use Claude Code is less storefront facing and more around how can I make my work a little bit faster and more efficient and so on. And those are a few things that I've done with it.
Ooh, yeah, amazing. And I love because like the way that you've used Claude Code mostly is like it's really like analyzing yourself, your behaviors, your writing, like all of those systems behind. And it just goes to show when people are talking about like AI slop content, for example, it just means that you haven't done that work, right? Because like you have a very specific